Hello, welcome to the fourth video in the My Boat People writing exercises. I'm Tom Palmer, the children's author. If you've watched the first three, which I recommend you do, otherwise this won't make much sense. We've worked on our character. For me, it's Sir Ben Helfgott, the Holocaust survivor, weightlifter, and all-round amazing human being. The setting, so Ben Helfgott was in a concentration camp and he came to the Lake District as a refugee. And we've got the story ideas, the what. So if you remember, I wrote down some ideas, things I know about him, things I found out about him. The next thing we're going to do is we've done the who, we've done the where, when, the setting, we've done the what, the story. Now we're going to do the plot. The plot. A plot, and I never quite get my head around the difference between story and plot. I'll be quite honest with you, even though it's my job to do these things. The story's like, I'm so rubbish at explaining this, but the plot is this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens, and because that happened, then that happens, and because that didn't happen, then this has to happen. And a plot is like a series of events. There's a word, causal. This causes that, causes the other, causes the next. The stories, for me, is more basic things like he became a weightlifter, he met me, or more importantly, I met him. But the plot is this causal chain of events. Like all of our lives, if we think about our lives, or if you think about a TV film or something you've watched, things happen and then things change, and because one thing changes, other things can or cannot happen, and that is the plot. It's kind of the winding path of your life, and in our case, is the winding path of our refugees' lives. And this is a difficult part of writing. And for me, I find maps really useful. And if you're writing a story about a refugee, which you are, or you may be, a map is quite a good device to use, because a refugee has moved from one place to another by some means to try and escape horror and danger and difficulty and trauma, to come to somewhere where they may feel safe and where they hope they'll come to a place where people will recognise the problems they've had and will want to help them. And that's the whole point of what we're doing, isn't it? And there is a history in England, in the UK, of that happening a lot of the time. And for me, the reason we're doing this story and the reason we're thinking about refugees who are fleeing dreadful situations is because I want us to be the sort of country that does look after people who are in need. Yes, anyway, so here's a map of, and for me, this is Ben Helfgott was born in Poland. Poland was invaded by the Nazis. He was in Lodz, and to my shame, I don't know where in Poland Lodz is, but so I'm going to put it, I think it was somewhere. That's where Krakow is. Sorry, that is some extra research I need to do later. So that's Lodz, where he was born. Is that? My eyes are terrible. Yeah. So that's the Czech Republic there, and Theresienstadt was there, where he went to. But he also went to other concentration camps in Poland. So he sort of went around Poland, and he ended up in the Czech Republic, or as it's called now. And then he ended up flying to England, and the place he flew to in England was in the Lake District, and that is in the very northwest of England, just below Scotland. Hello, Katniss. And so he flew there, and so that is Sir Ben Helfgott's journey. And having a map really helps me. And what I've done is, for you, I've put a space where you can put your map in, and then 4 little boxes. So what I thought it'd be good to do is just to record where he was. So, and it's quite a simple, like, it's a plot, but it's telling you what happened and where he went next. So we've got Lodz in, we'll just put Poland, because that's makes more sense to most of us. Poland. Then he was in the Czech Republic. Then he went to the lakes, and then he ended up settling in the southeast of England, sort of North London-ish. Although I think he went somewhere before that, but I'd need to double check that. So I'll put London, but it's kind of Greater London. So I've got there now. I've got the map of where he went, and then I've written down the places that he went to. I should actually have added more boxes there, because what I could do in this is I could write down the key plot event, the key maybe transitional moment where dramatic things happened in his story. So in Poland, that was invaded, and he was treated brutally by the Nazis. So that's in Poland. He was invaded and imprisoned, I suppose. There's a better word, but I'll put that for now. In the Czech Republic, he was liberated, which means the Russians, in this case, came and liberated him and made him free. So I've got that now. So this is sort of map, place, event. And this is how I'm putting together a plot. I'm so inarticulate, and I'm really sorry, but this is what I'm trying to explain. So then he went to the lakes where he was completely free, and he started doing sport. There was a guy at the camp that he was staying at in England called Jock. I've forgotten his second name. That's terrible. Called Jock. As you can see, my memory is not very good. Which is why I write things down like this. He met this Jock. It was either Jock Lawrence. Was it Jock Lawrence? I think it was Jock Lawrence. And he got into sport, and then he moved to London, where he and I need to check this because I'm not sure, 100% sure, where he got into weightlifting. And as well as weightlifting, he got into charitable work with refugees. So can you see how I've got a map, I've got the 4 places he went to, and I've written down the key thing, the key transitional plot point that happened at those points in his life. So I've done that, I've plotted my story. So we've got the who, the where, when, the what, and the how, which is the plot. And the next one, and the last one, you might be relieved to hear, is the why, which is really important, and we'll discuss that in the next video. Thank you for listening to this one.